my name is Ebot. Today I am here with my team and we are here to talk about the role of administration in resolving conflict in an organization. And we'll be focusing on how administrators within the educational milieu resolve conflict in the institution. Over there is Mr. Einstein Sinoge. In the middle, our only lady is Madame Gwendoline, and beside me is Mr. Prosper Evangelist. And today we have a very interesting movie to show you how administrators resolve conflict in an organization. So, Madame Gwendoline, please, can you tell us more about administration, how it all began?
Alright, thank you, Mr. Ekema. The concept of administration has evolved beginning from the ancient civilization, where we saw civilizations such as China, Egypt and Babylon. During this era, the structure of administration had like the Hammurabi in Babylon that gave the code of conduct, how activities should be run. There was also bureaucracy in China. Yeah. From the ancient civilization, administration moved on to the medieval period that saw the influence of feudal systems as well as religious institutions like the Catholic that focused on the giving societal norms, how the societal affairs are supposed to be run, as well as running territories. And then came the period of Enlightenment and Renaissance that saw critical thinkers like Niccolo Machiavelli and Jean-Jacques Rousseau that brought up functions and structures, how administration should be run. And then came the period of the modern era of administration that saw scholars like Henry Fayol and the rest, and Max Weber, who came up with the principle of administration, the principles of administration. So in the present dispensation, administration is being influenced by several factors, such as digitalization, the changing nature of work, and much more.
You talked about proponents such as Henry Fayol. Can you tell us what in our contemporary society is administration? What is administration in our contemporary society? Madam Gwen?
All right. Presently, administration has been defined by many people, and we're going to be seeing some of those definitions. One of them is by Nivanko, which says that administration is the careful and the systematic arrangement and use of resources, both material and human, in situations and opportunities for the achievement of specific goals of an organization. And then, us as a team, we have defined administration as the social process of discovering, sustaining, motivating, and coordinating human, material, and other resources within the framework of a socially organized structure and society to make use of opportunities and circumstances to achieve the goals of an organization.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, Madam, you talked about, when you were talking about the evolution of administration, you talked about some of the principles that were brought up or developed by Henry Fayol and Max Weber. Please, can you share more light? What do you mean by principles?
Alright, when we talk about the principles of administration, we're talking about the framework within which administrators and managers are supposed to run their activities. So some of these principles advanced by Henry Fayol in his theory of management, we have the unity of command, which states that each employee should have only one direct supervisor. This is in order to avoid the confusion of not knowing who to report to or who to answer to. That is one of them. Then we also have the principle of division of work. This principle of administration states that work should be allocated to any employee according to their level of expertise, according to their abilities, and according to their skills. Because if you are allocated work according to your skills, there is a high tendency of you performing well within your efforts, which is what you're specializing, which of course will help in the achievement of the institution's goals.
Wow, that's really amazing. So, Mr. Prosper, so what can you tell us about the concept of conflict resolution? Remember, your team is trying to show how administration resolves conflict in an organization. What is the concept of conflict resolution all about?
Wow, thank you, Mr. Ekema, for this opportunity. You know, we can talk about conflict resolution without knowing what conflict itself is all about. Now, without any universally accepted way of defining conflict, Conflict can be seen as a disagreement or an argument or even a collision between a group of people or two persons. Now we see the rise of conflict there and there, everywhere around us because of conflicting ideas or perceptions. There is therefore need for conflict resolution. Hence, conflict resolution is a methodology used by an individual or an organization in solving conflict.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prosper, for that analysis. Just to know, is there a need for conflict resolution?
Yes, of course, there's a need for conflict resolution because of the negative impact of conflict in an organization, such as it reduces productivity. Now we know when there is conflict in an organization or institution, the attentions of the workers and administrators, they are diverted towards such conflict, and as such it limits their time for work or to concentrate for more important things, and then they'll focus on resolving conflict. As such, productivity of such institution will be touched.
Oh wow, thank you so very much. So, Mr. Einstein, it is said that in the process of conflict, there's a lot of destruction of lives and properties. Is that true?
Very well, that's true. As the word goes, conflict, and he rightly defined it by saying, he said, it's a collision between individuals, therefore there must be something that will aggravate between them, and if it's not handled, lives can be lost, properties also can be damaged, it can cause a long-term problem in the society and even within the immediate sphere, which will go a long way to destroy or even slow down the pace of certain activities around the sphere of the arena or even in the globe, because conflicts start as a minor issue, but if care is not taken, it can also lead to a bigger issue. For example, look at our present situation right now. It was a very tender case, but look at it, here we are now, we are still on it. So you see, conflict is very terrible, because if not taken care of, it can lead to a lot of loss of life and also properties, and can as well reduce productivity. It can also bring political instability as well as social insecurity. So I don't think conflict is any good thing. We should try by all possible means to avoid conflict.
Madam, when we were talking about the evolution of administration and how proponents like Henry Fowler and Max Weber brought develop new modification, are you trying to say that all that modification was supposed to give skills and training for administrators to be able to properly manage conflict resolution in an organization?
Of course, of course. You know, when there is no framework for how things are supposed to be done, there will be disorder. And so, these principles of administration that were advanced by Henry Fayol and Max Weber help to give a guideline of how activities are supposed to be carried out in an organization. And so, when it comes to conflict resolution, of course, there is authority. One of those principles talk about authority, respect of hierarchy, which means that when something happens at the level of staff members, there is supposed to be a higher authority that is supposed to come in and mitigate in order to arrive at a conclusion or a solution to whatever problem is being faced by the institution.
So, Mr. Einstein, what are we expecting to see in the movie we're about to show to our viewers this day?
Yeah, at this point, we are going to see how conflict is being resolved in an administration by the administrators.
Wow, thank you so much for that analysis, ladies and gentlemen. So now, let's watch the video that has been presented to us by our team. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mr. Zion.
What about Mr. Zion?
So I don't even know what to say about him, but he doesn't teach the children, as in he doesn't even have time for the children. He comes to class, all he does is to manipulate his phone, do phone calls in class while teaching, like during lesson he's there answering his phone calls. He doesn't even care about the future of those children. He doesn't even care about if the children are like understanding or not. All he does is manipulating his phone all the time, his phone. I don't even think we think he is, like he's always on phone, like manipulating his phone. He doesn't even care about the future of the children. So I'm just here to let you know about it because I've had it up to here. I don't even
don't want to say, sir. But it's not like I'm gossiping. I'm just here to make a complaint about you.
So you mean to tell me Mr. Zion is distracted during lessons?
Yes, sir.
He has no time for the student?
No time at all.
Is that a complaint you're making about him?
Yes, sir.
He uses his phone and to calls while lecturing or teaching the students. Okay, thank you. An immediate action will be taken as far as that case is concerned. Thank you. Is that all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, come in. Mr. Zion, please shut the door. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir. Sit down.
Good day, sir.
Good day, Mr. Zion. How may I help you?
Sir, I came here with a very serious complaint.
What's the complaint about?
It's about Madam Elizabeth. I don't know if you have noticed her, the way she dresses, very indecently. And again, sir, this woman, I don't know if she came here to look for a husband or she came to teach children. She bullies our young men and our young girls as if they are not her students. Sir, I want something to be done because if I decide to use my own method on her, the school will not like it. That is why I decided to come to you as the head of this school so you can put things in order. Please, sir.
Is that all, Mr. Zion?
Yes, sir, that's all, sir.
Okay. If I may ask, for how long have you been observing this attitude being portrayed by Madam Elizabeth?
Thank you for that question. If I make use of my statistics, I think it's about 3 months. Yes, I marked the day she started doing these things. It's about 3 months now, sir. Same attitude.
Okay. So you mean to tell me for 3 months Madam Elizabeth has been indecent in school and cannot produce content to her students?
So that's what I'm trying to say. 3 months now. Can you imagine?
Okay, Mr. Zion, thank you very much for your thought. We are going to see into the issue and we are going to talk to Madam Elizabeth, and I'm sure amendments will be made.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're free to leave.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a nice day.
Yes, you cannot imagine the way this lady, she's behaving in school. Oh my God. Anyway, that's the way these ladies are.
Mr. Zion, please excuse me.
Okay. I'm going to call you later.
Mr. Zion, please, I want to tell you something. I overheard Miss Ellie in the principal's office. She made a complaint about you. She was like, you don't teach your students well, you always make phone calls in class. I just want to tell you so that you know and know the kind of people you trust and how you interact with them, because not everybody likes you.
But are you sure about
I'm
what you're
serious.
saying?
I was there. I overheard her. You should just be careful.
Thank
That's
you
all.
very much.
Thank you.
As you can see my character, in fact, I'll call you later.
What are you doing? How are you doing? I overheard Mr. Zion giving the principal some complaints about you. He said you don't dress decently, you are very harsh to the students, especially the girls, you favor the boys. And I'm even surprised you're putting on something decent today. Wow, seriously, that's what I heard. And I was like, what's happening? I just said, let me tell you, so you know and know the kind of people you trust. And I'm really shocked. I'm serious. I was shocked as you are. But anyways, I just wanted to greet you. You're welcome.
I've been looking for you.
I've also been looking for
I've been looking for you this girl.
What? Are you okay? Like, are you seriously okay?
So you
Guys,
can
you
talk.
reported me to the head teacher. Are you okay?
So you
There
can
have been
talk.
short things. I'm violent to children.
Do you know who I am?
What can
I'll
you
soon
do?
be the vice president of this school.
Really?
Yes,
Look at you, a vice president.
I'm going to.
I don't even know what to say.
I'll
What can you do?
dismiss you
You
out of this
cannot do
school.
nothing.
I cannot do
You
anything.
cannot do nothing.
I cannot do anything.
Look at you.
Because you
Look
tried
at
to
you,
dress decently
snitch.
today.
You snitch.
I'm a snitch.
Yes, I snitch.
Okay.
An improper teacher. What can you do?
Just
What
watch
do you
and
do?
see. What can
Look
I
at
do?
you. You cannot even teach very well. You're in class picking up calls, doing nonsense kind of things. You're just standing in front of me and you're saying you can do. What phone call can you make?
I can make a phone call that will
can
take
you
you out of this
Can
school.
you guys stop? What's happening here?
So can you imagine?
Can I imagine what? Can I imagine
why
what?
do you have to be quarreling this way in the school premise?
Just so you're already ashamed of yourself. Gossiper.
Just look around.
Gossiper of a
Just look
man.
around who we have here. The students watching you guys behaving this way. Do you know you're supposed to be of a modest behavior? And you're this way arguing and quarreling in school? What do you show them? What do they take home when they learn from you? Is that supposed to be so? So what's happening here?
Can you imagine
Can
what
I
this
imagine what? A gossip of a man.
Let
Can
him
you
talk.
imagine?
Let me talk.
Would you let him talk?
Let me talk. This woman will go about saying that I'm not serious with my work, that I manipulate my phone all the time in class. Whereas I'm very dedicated to what I do.
You are dedicated,
I'm-
you say. Dedicated teacher who stand in front of the class, you are answering
Just
calls
let
in
him
front
talk.
of the
Let
students.
him talk. Let me get from him.
Can you imagine? She went as far to report me to the principal. And
Really?
I've been hearing rumors from other students that that's how I'm behaving. Whereas I make sure I implement the rules and regulations of this school, sir.
Okay? I've got to do just. That's okay. Can I hear from you?
Can you even imagine? I don't even know how to even describe him. He'll go in front of the...
The question is,
Ah.
what did he do and why are you guys quarreling? What's your part?
He
That's what I
went
want
and
to hear.
reported me to the head
She has
teacher
nothing
that
to
I'm
say.
dressing half
She has
naked
nothing to say.
and violence to students. Who does that?
You know what? You know what? This very issue wouldn't end here. I'll make sure the principal hears it and it has to be solved diplomatically. Can you guys now depart from here? And I don't want to hear this anymore anywhere. What do you show the students? Child! And for you, Mr. Zion, you're very loud. You need to bring it down, okay?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you do is what they learn. And what they learn is what they take home. That's what they exhibit in the society, and we wouldn't want that in our society, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's okay, you can leave.
Good day, Mr. Zion.
Good day, Mr. Principal.
Good day, Madam Elizabeth. I have someone to a phone issue, but before addressing it, I would like to get you to Hello, Mr. Einstein. Please, can you come to my office? Yes, I'm waiting. Alright, sir. Yes. Now, concerning the issue we discussed about Madam Elizabeth and Mr. Zion,
Yes, sir.
I summoned them here today, and I'm glad because you were an eyewitness and you brought the issue to my table again. Now, I want us to address the issue once and for all. Starting with you, Mr. Zion, you've been a good teacher in this school for 7 years, and lately you've been portraying some type of behavior that are not modest to the students and the institution. Now, what can you say about this?
Sir, thank you for this opportunity to express myself. Esther, you know we are in a modern world now like this. And my phone is the easiest tool in which I use to type my notes. And when I come to class, it's the same phone I use to dictate the notes to the students, sir. So I don't understand where all this noise is coming from.
And you still have the mind to look at yourself like that in front of the principal.
It's not what you're thinking, sir.
Just go ahead, you're listening.
I don't understand where all this noise is coming from. My phone is the fastest tool I use to deliver the notes and the lessons to the students, sir. And I don't know how it distracts me. I'm a mature man. I know when and where to use my phone, sir. So, sir, that's what I have to say concerning it.
Okay. Madam Elizabeth, from my observation, accompanying the complaint laid on the table, it shows that lately you have not been of a modest behavior to the students. And checking at their performance 3 months back, it is really bad. And I observed that you come to school late. I don't know, you don't take issues concerning academics serious. You dress as you like. You know, you ought to be a model to the students. And you dressing inappropriately disturbs their psychological thought of the field. Now, what do you have to say about it?
Sir, I'm shocked. In fact, I'm surprised. I don't know where all this is coming from. I'm putting on short things in school. I go whenever I want. I come whenever I want. I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm sure this is from some people who have personal issues against me. So I'm really shocked. I don't even know what to say.
So what you're trying to tell me is the complaint I got from you or against you, they are all lies.
So I'm sure they're rumors.
From my observation, there is more to this that meets the eye. You who have personal problems that are influencing your behavior in the institution. Mr. DM, have you noticed it?
Yeah, Mr. Principal, I really do see it from your perspective and even more to that. Mr. Zion, I am the DM of this institution. I am very keen in my job and I watch very well. Recently, I noticed that you've always been on your phone in class, and that is not supposed to be the normal. You get me? Do you know, as an administrator, one of the things you have to be careful about is planning. You ought to plan beforehand, such that you're well prepared and you're ready for whatever task you have to execute. In the classroom, I don't think using a phone for delivery of lesson is appropriate enough. It isn't appropriate. You're a teacher. And this is a secondary school, not even a tertiary institution. You have to prepare your lesson note. That is part of planning. You have to make sure you write it down, or even if you have a booklet like this, and I'm sure during the start they distributed booklets to everybody, and you have yours. But why are you using your phone? There must be a message that will pop up, there must be a call that will come in, and you have to respond to them. So it is better you keep your phone aside, put it on silence, focus on the lesson. It's just 45 minutes for a lesson. When you're done teaching, you leave the class. You can attend to those things. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I want you to reorganize yourself and pull up properly and make sure you do the things you ought to do very well. Not the way you're doing them recently because they are not good enough. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you know your academic performance for your students are declining seriously? It wasn't supposed to be so. We don't need to recess. We need continuous mounting. You get that?
Yes.
So I want you to step up and do better. You get me?
Yes, sir.
And Miss Elizabeth, you're a lady, a very young one at that. You started teaching in this institution not too long ago. It's not up to 12 years, and you're still young, but you're misbehaving already. That's not appropriate, and it's unexpected of you. Recently, you've not been dressing properly, as said, and I watch you when you come to class. That is about 15 minutes into your lesson time, that's when you get in. Was it supposed to be so? Be in class at due time, deliver your lesson appropriately, and you leave. And make sure, whenever you're in class, just note this, the students are all watching you because you're in front of them. If you're not properly dressed, you're distracting them. Just take, for example, the boys. They might be obsessed. They might derail their attention and start discussing about something else that is not even supposed to be part of the lesson. And this has an effect on their performance. They might even go home and not study and talking about that teacher. There's a reputation we want to keep in the school. We don't want bad reputation. We want to make sure that our names be heard out there under the domain of excellence. Not for bad behaviors and not for attitudes that are not rewarded enough. Okay? We want to make sure that the glory of our school doesn't go down by any instance. So I don't know if you guys have any grievances back in the house or in your yacht. I I want you to put yourself together and make sure you amend every loopholes. So you come to a compromise and then exert what is expected for you appropriately. Hope that's understood.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't want to hear or see you guys behave this way anymore. And besides, that was before in front of the students and they saw all that. So pull up and change. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have to say, Mr. Principal. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jem, for your contribution. Now, added to all the responsibility that he has earlier mentioned, we have to take note of responsibility. We have in our hands the responsibility of making sure that the students are producing excellent results. Whatever you give to them, they will produce using the materials and give you whatever result you are expecting. Now, if we plan our activities very well, we are going to get excellence. Talking on communication, being an effective tool to effective relationship, it is going to promote or enhance productivity and innovation. Not only communicating with the students, but among you too. There are informations that will be helpful to a teacher, but because of your personal grievances, you will not share it and the other person will lose. So, you two are all adults and you know what to do when being advised. I'm expecting to see changes as from today. Now, if this poor attitude continues, sanctions will be needed. So I am expecting to see improvement in your behaviors that will go a long way to improve students' performance.
Thank you, sir. That's all, sir. Mr. Zion, I'm very sorry.
From my heart, I say I'm sorry for you.
That's a nice one.
Oh wow, that was really educative. Sir Einstein, what can you tell us about the video? What is your view on the video, please?
Thank you very much. I actually enjoyed every scene of the video, particularly the aspect where the discipline master entered in between the two teachers, where they were seriously quarreling and arguing over ideas and over activities that has passed. And he didn't just come into the scene and stop them from quarreling. He also made sure he listened from them and heard their various points and why they are conflicting. What really caught my attention was the aspect where the discipline master had to point to the students and let the teacher see that they were actually quarreling in front of the students, and this very behavior is going to be emulated by the students, and which was a part significant. So from that point, I really picked a lot of interest from there, because it's some sort of a mediation, stopping the problem, getting to know the problem, and also helping them not portray such behavior any further. And then it didn't really end there. I see something related to one of the principles of administration, which is hierarchy in there, apart from mediation. I saw hierarchy in there where the discipline master did not take the matter personally because he's a discipline master. He referred to them, to the principal, and let them know that they are going to face the principal for them to really sort their matter, because from what they said in there, it was like they have previous issues and then they are taking it to work, whereas it's not supposed to be so. You know, as professionals, when we see ourselves in a professional scene, we should make sure that we put away everything we have from the house and then we focus on work. That's very essential. So, and you know, one other interesting part was the secretary. You know, the secretary is an amazing person. The secretary is an amazing person. You know, the secretary is an interesting person. The secretary didn't just keep the information she got in the office, but went further to talk about it outside to the colleagues, and this really brought them to a loggerhead, which is not a very good thing in an institution. It's problematic. If she kept that information private, the matter wouldn't have escalated to what it was, because they actually had to query and query and query.
So would you say that's an unprofessional attitude by the secretary?
It's not professional. You know, one of the ethics of professionalism is that you should be able to keep your colleagues secret. You shouldn't leak them out. Instead, you address the matter diplomatically without exposing it.
So, Madam Gwendolyn, now looking at this movie, are we saying that this movie is a perfect replication of the scenarios and situations that happen in our day-to-day life in our institutions?
Of
course. You know, conflict is part of our daily lives. And this movie actually depicted that situation in an institution. People, colleagues are always going to have issues among themselves, some that are brought from their homes.
Yeah.
And so once they bring it to their place of work, which is the institution, there is bound to be this commotion we have just seen happen in front of us. That is why that particular issue of conflict resolution is very important, because these things happen daily. We cannot do without conflicts.
Wow, that's amazing. You know,
That's a reality of life.
the woman was and the guy, they were kind of insulting each other at a personal level.
Did you see the way we said this?
And what caught my attention was definitely the method that the principal applied.
Wow.
Yeah,
Listening the two parties, what they ought to say or what they have for the matter,
Yeah.
and then he played the role of not having any complaint.
Yeah.
I wonder
The woman has gossiped.
The principal didn't just put any blame directly on any of them for causing the issue. He rather told them to settle their dispute by themselves.
And one thing I observed, they brought their own personal matters into their job.
Which is unprofessional.
It's not professional at
Yeah,
all.
it's not
It's not professional.
Wow.
They had to carry their grudges into the institution, and that went a long way to affect their behavior towards each other.
But did you see when they gave themselves a handshake?
Oh,
Was that really genuine?
The principal.
Question from that. Was that really genuine?
Yeah, you know, sometimes these things are done, you know, we could say that these things are done sometimes to please the principal, and other times they are done genuinely as a reality. But now, let's look at it. I want us to look at it from another perspective. Now, Einstein, apart from the principles you talked about, hierarchy and mediation, is there any other way to deal with conflict in an organization or an institution, like an educational setting?
Of course, there are many other ways, and one of these ways is training and professional development. I think educational administration should be able to organize professional training and development programs that is going to teach staff skills such as active listening skills, negotiation skills, effective communication skills, as well as problem-solving techniques. With these, staff are going to be equipped with abilities to solve problems or conflicts in the classroom and even in the administration as a whole. And also, there is also the aspect of collaborating with external resources. With this, there's a need to collaborate with psychologists, counselors, and even legal professionals that can step in to solve aspects of deep emotional situations as well as legal matters.
I think I have something to add to what Mr. Einstein has said. And one of the ways through which administration can help in handling conflict in the educational milieu is by creating a positive climate. How can they do this? They can do this by creating an environment whereby everyone feels belonging, everyone feels respected, and give room for open communication. That way, both the student, the staff, and the administrators can learn to work in harmony. Because at the end of the day, if you're in any environment where you feel that your idea is valued and respected, there will be less conflict, because you understand that you're working as a team and not competing against each other.
Mr. Prosper, adding to what Madam Gwendolyn and Mr. Einstein have said, do you also have something to add?
Yes, exactly. I think that the administrators should make effective use of restorative practices, which focus on restoring relationship and fixing harms from conflict. As seen in the video earlier, the principal did not punish the victims, but rather encourage them on their duty, to improve on their duty and the behavior that they portray in the institution. And I think that it's a good one there, because we go a long way to enhance their interaction and communication with each other.
Wow, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for that. What an analysis that has been given to us there on the aspect of administration and the role of administration in resolving conflict. Key aspects that we can take home is that humans are vulnerable, so they are bound to always be conflict in our society. Another aspect to look into the fact is that administration must be able to ensure that other administrators are consistently being trained and given skills, just like the teams have said earlier, such that this continuous training will ensure productivity in management of self in the environment. And also the last thing to look upon is the fact that giving skills or acquiring skills is not enough as much as applying these skills. So there is need for these skills to be applied. Thank you so much. It was nice having you with us, and I want to thank my team members who are here, Mr. Einstein, Madam Gwendolyn, and Mr. Prosper for this amazing time. It's been a very educative moment, I think. What do you guys think? I think it has been a very educative moment. Wow, wow. So thank you very much, and I do know that you enjoyed the video that you watched. Have a nice day.